Hey guys, it's Elle here, and today, this is not going to be a review. Now, a while ago I did record a review for an Ember in the Ashes. The problem was the video got corrupted and I never did upload it, but it's been so long now that I don't want to do a review on this because I'd have to reread it again, and I don't trust my memory on certain things. So what I'm going to be doing is a discussion video on an Ember in the Ashes and my thoughts so far on A Towards Against the Night. I have not finished this, so please, no spoilers. You can see how far I am. I am not very far. I have had other work. I am at page 94. I'm at chapter 9. 11. That's 11. That is 11. Roman numerals. Okay. So, this is just a discussion. It's not a review. I might get a little reviewing here and there, but it is not a review. Please, 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 please do not post any spoilers in comments. Please, I'm begging you. Okay, so, An Ember in the Ashes is the book that got me back into reading. I stopped reading for a very, very, very long time. Books where I'm from are very, very, very expensive. You'll spend like $40 on one book. Therefore, I cannot afford to buy books at home. So, when I got the chance to buy books, this was the book I bought. And this is the book that got me back into reading. And let me tell you, when I first read it, it was amazing. Now, there were a couple things that I discussed in that video. One of the things I discussed was characters, and I focused a lot on Darren. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Darren or Dareen, or how it's supposed to be pronounced. Forgive me. I'm going to say Darren. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Now, the thing I talked about was how much development Darren's character had, despite only being like 2 or 3 chapters. And it was great because he's a very strong-willed character, but he's also very brash. But that's my opinion on it, because in the first few chapters, this is going to be spoilery, so if you haven't read An Ember in the Ashes, don't watch this video. Like, go and read it and come back. That's the best thing I can say. So, the thing I love about Darren's character is, yes, he's very brash. And in the first chapters, okay, I did say spoilers, right? Okay. So we know that Darren is learning how to make the swords, the Sims. I can't remember the name of the dude. The Teluman Sims, I think is that it? I might be wrong, forgive me. But he's learned how to make those swords, okay? And this is very important because those swords are what prevent other nations from being able to fight against the Empire. I'm sorry. My mind is trying to remember stuff. Because if you try to fight against them with regular swords, your sword will break against their blades, okay? So, Darren was learning how to make those Sims, right? And because of that, because he was hanging around the forgery where they made the swords, masks, like soldiers, were sent after his family. And in that chapter, you get a lot of character development for Darren because you see that he's very strong-willed, he's very opinionated, and he will fight for what he believes in. He isn't afraid to go beyond the line. But his problem is that while he was ready for stuff to happen to him, it did not seem like he understood the repercussions when it was coming to his family. At least that's how I read it. So that was very telling about his personality, because it showed that even though he's very smart, he's very like intelligent about things, and he thinks things through a lot, he didn't think things through to that point that, like, okay, this isn't going to stop at me, this is going to go on to my family. Because when Papa and I get killed, his reaction to that, it's like, oh my god, I made a mistake. At least that's how I read it. But Leia starts out as a very weak character. Not weak character. she is very scared, and she doesn't know how to handle certain things, and she constantly compares herself to her brother, especially in like those, throughout the whole book actually, especially in those first few chapters. She constantly compares herself to her brother, and through her brother compares herself to her mother, which is a very interesting thing, because she will say, why can't I be like Darren? Why can't I be brave? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Darren is like our mother who was strong, our mother who was blah 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 blah, the same hair color, blah 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 blah. So you see that she had this inferiority complex about her, and she was always comparing herself to them. And what I find interesting about this is that moving to A Torch Against the Night, I don't know if she meets up with her brother or not, because as I said, I'm only at chapter 11, like the beginning of chapter 11, so I don't know if they meet up. I don't know if they get to the prison. I don't know what happens. But what interests me is that how is Leia gonna change when she meets up with her brother? Because the person that left her brother at the beginning of An Ember in the Ashes is very different to the person that is going to save her brother in A Torch Against the Night. And I am so interested to see how those two characters clash if they finally meet up. Because is Leia gonna stay the strong, determined person that we know, that we've come to know that she's grown into, or is she gonna revert? Is it gonna be like Darren pushing her down and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're my younger sister, I'm going to protect you, I have to do all this for you, you stay in the background while I do everything? Is it going to be that kind of situation where it's not like she reverts, but she is forced to revert? Do you get what I mean? So that's one of the things I'm really interested in seeing when she and her brother meet up. The other thing I'm interested in seeing is Elias and her brother. I want to see the interaction between the two of them, because Darren is so strong-willed from what we've seen, because we only seen him in 2 chapters. We don't know that much about him, but he seems so strong-willed. And what's gonna happen when her brother learned she was traveling with an X mask? I'm really curious to see where that interaction goes. And yeah, and that's another thing that I was very curious going into A Torch Against the Night. Elias and Leia don't know each other very well. Like, they've met in passing, they've seen each other a couple of times, interacted a couple of times, kissed like once, but they don't know each other, if you get my meaning. So where I am so far, spoilers, okay, I am at chapter 11, okay. If you're not up to chapter 11, then maybe skip ahead or something, though you might risk jumping on another spoiler. So if you've not read at least to chapter 11, I would recommend you pause and go read to chapter 11 and come back, because I can't spoil past chapter 11. I have not read it. Where we are right now, where I am right now, Elias has just told her that he's been poisoned. And let me say, when I read that, he's like, what, 3 months or 6 months to live because he was poisoned? I was like, what the? Why would you do this? It was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, because he's dying. His mother killed him. That is the cruelest thing I can imagine. And the thing that's horrifying to me is that he's now forcing himself to keep a distance from Leia because he doesn't want to hurt her. And that kills me, because I've been shipping them for so long, and now you're telling me this man's gonna die? No. No. Okay, he better not die. Dear God, he better not die. But what's interesting is like all of the creatures and stuff that are being introduced in Torches Tonight. It's fantastic. I am so curious to learn more about them. Especially, there was like an instant where one of the creatures in the tunnels, when they're trying to escape, ask Leia what she is. And I'm like, what? What do you mean what she is? Does she have like some special? And then, oh my God, I forgot. The scene where she's in the perch, not perch, I don't remember where it is, when she's trying to get medicine so she can help Elias, and she disappears. Like, she's thinking and she goes, I'm not here, I'm air, or something like that. Disappear, you don't see anything. And she actually disappears. I was like, what? Because if that ties back in with the person going, with the creature asking like what she is, that's really interesting. Like, is she not human? Is she like adopted? Is she not related to them? Is that a thing? Like, that's moving on. One of the things that caught my eye in Ember in the Ashes was when she's running away, she mentions a best friend called Zara that was taken away by raids. And I when I read it, I just felt like that was really to see if this character would come back in. I don't know if she does, I don't know if she won't, but if she does, that would be really cool. And we're also seeing, we're also seeing a lot more of the Mariners, which I'm really, really glad about. But there's just so much going on here. I don't even get started on Helene. I don't know if am I still pronouncing that name wrong? I mean, between her and Marcus and that whole situation, it's like, dang. And I know there's supposed to be 2 more books. Is it 2 more books in that series? I believe so. But I just feel like there's so much more to happen. Like, it feels like this is just the beginning of something that's just gonna just go like in our faces. Also, congratulations on the #1 New York Times bestselling. Yes, that was amazing. That's great. There's like a lot of stuff that I'm interested in seeing where it goes. Like, I'm going back to Charge Against the Night now because a lot of the things that I would have said for an Ember in the Ashes, I don't know if they're gonna apply now the sequel is out, because they might already be answered in the sequel. There's stuff that like it don't really make sense to like go in depth to. Like, in my last video I mentioned the moment with the Commandant and Elias when we find out as the readers that the Commandant is his mother. That was like a breathtaking scene. That was really well written. And I also mentioned things like, I don't even remember. I mentioned the interactions between like him, Elias, and his friends, squad, whatever. And there's also the whole situation with like the slaves, and there's just so much. There's literally just so much to go into in this book. There's so much that's just left untouched so far that it's like, where it's going, it's just like, how does this end? How does it end? The whole point of this book was liberating Elias, freeing him from the cage of his mind so that he can go and do what he needs to do without always feeling he's being pursued. That was the point of this, okay? It was also getting Leia to a point where she can be her own person and do what she needs to do without doubting herself constantly. That is what I see as the point of the first book, okay? Getting these characters to a position where they can do the crap they need to do. But where is it going? Like, there's just so much open. There's like that creepy guy that Helen met. There's like all of the shadow stuff that was talking to Leia. Then there's this death woman. I'm sorry, I don't remember the names right now. I should really just look for the name. But it's the lady that keeps calling Elias as he passes out. Like, there's just so much. There's so much. And how does this end? Do they say they do free her brother? Say they do get into the prison and get the knowledge of how to make the blades to other people, and they say they do start a giant war. Okay, what then? How does this end? How can this possibly end? At least, like, where does it go? Do they kill Marcus? Is that the end? Does Helen kill Marcus? Is that the end? Or does killing Marcus just create a vacuum for somebody else to go in? Do we free? I mean, because killing Marcus, you kill the Emperor, but that doesn't liberate the scholars or any of the other people from the situation they're in. The Empire still wins. If they get the blades to the people and they start a war, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that everybody's gonna live or that it's gonna be a happy ending and the people are gonna win. And if you get the swords to the people but Marcus still lives and you've got all those masks and stuff, then what? I mean, do you see what I mean? Like, how does this end? There's just so much left. There's just so much we don't know, and so much that still needs explaining. I don't know if more of it get explained in the rest of this book. Like I said, I'm not done, but that's the stuff that interests me. That's what catches my attention, and it's just so masterfully written. Okay, the language is gorgeous. You see, it's kind of going reviewy now, but I have to say, the writing style is amazing. It's gorgeous. It's some of the best writing that I have seen. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't. I've got to finish this, but I've got other stuff to do. So that's the end of my rambling. I don't know if this was something that made sense recording. I hope it did. We'll see when I edit it if it makes sense. I'm actually falling asleep. I don't know if you can tell, but my eyes are starting to close. But if I remember stuff that I wanted to say, maybe I'll probably do another video as I read further into A Torch Against the Night. And then I'll do some other videos and stuff too. I'll try to post videos more often. I'll probably keep it to the weekends or early during the week because I do have a lot of work to do. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, leave a comment. I would love to hear your opinions on my rambling or, you know, anything else. If you want to tell me to shut up, then tell me to shut up. That's cool. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see some of my reviews or some of the stuff I've written, you can go to my website. It will be down there. It's alreneart.com. As long as it's still up. It should still be up, I hope. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.